Welcome to our daily reflection for this Thursday, April 24th, and we're still in the Easter octave. Christ is risen. Our duty is joy and to rejoice in the Lord. And we'll start with this great story in Acts. We've seen Peter and John who just prayed and healed this crippled, which is it's going to be an earthquake in Jerusalem because everybody knows this man who was born crippled. He'd grown up begging at the gate of the temple. And so everybody in Jerusalem knows this man, and it's undeniable that a great sign has been performed. And so what I love is as everyone's standing stunned and shocked, and it's, everyone's running and telling people, and people are running to the temple to see if this story is really true. And Peter and John are getting all this attention. Peter looks at the crowd and he says something with incredible humility. He says, look, why do you look intently at us as if it's by our own power or our own piety that this man is healed, right? And I love that. And obviously, Peter knows it's not by his own power that this man who is crippled from birth was healed. But he could kind of say, well, our piety, I was close to Jesus. I'm kind of the leader of the 12 and I pray and I'm devout. And maybe it's my piety that's why God gave this miracle at my hands. And Peter doesn't even believe it's his piety either. Notice the poverty of Peter, his utter humility. Once he confessed and he recognized his sin and after betraying Jesus and denying him, Peter is a new man, and he realizes that faith and grace are a pure gift from God, and that it comes out of his love, not something we've done or deserve. And Peter is just free in that poverty. He doesn't have to pretend to be something he's not, even in terms of his own piety, which is amazing. It's one thing to say, I don't have this power. It's another to say, no, my piety didn't make this happen. This is from God. And I love that just pure humility of Peter, and not claiming anything for his own piety. And I think that's really a remarkable sign and of humility that we should really reflect on. And then we see that he says, look, this is all by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is all done by our God, right? Who has glorified his servant, his suffering servant, Jesus, right? And so what Peter sees is that the person who's brought the power of God to bear here, the one whose piety and obedience to God is pure, is Jesus. And it's Jesus' piety and it's Jesus' power that has brought this miracle to happen. And so God the Father is glorifying his faithful servant and son, Jesus Christ. And so that's really remarkable here. And then of course, he's going to quote scripture that Moses even says in Deuteronomy, a prophet like me, God will raise up, you should listen to him. And he's all testifying that all the prophets are bearing testimony that someone from the line of David would be a suffering servant who would die and suffer to redeem Israel. And he's saying all the scriptures are fulfilled now in Jesus of Nazareth. It's all about Jesus. When we love Jesus, it's about Jesus. It's about Jesus getting the credit, not us. And so let us be like Peter. Let's ascribe all the glory because it's deserved by one person alone, and that is Jesus Christ. Let's give him the glory and not ourselves. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.